afternoon. This is Chuck from Monocoque Metalworks. I'm standing here next to this 61 E-type Roadster shell that we built up from scratch here using our jigs in our frame table. And while there's a car in the frame table, most of the jigs are out. It's kind of a whole skeleton structure that comes all around this, goes all in the cockpit, makes sure everything is in the perfect location. But we just finished this up. It's time for this to come out of the rotisserie now and go into a cart. And I just finished fitting up the doors, and I'm going to show you a little bit of that. So come on down here and take a closer look. And while you're coming down, you can kind of pan around and take a look. We also just recently cleaned the whole shop and cleaned the upstairs. I bought some more of those cages that I really like, and we've sorted out the parts into those. Those are all our original parts for cars we own and things like that. You can also see up there where some of the panels that are stripped and ready for us to work on cars over there. So that's kind of our special little parts attic of E-type parts. So if you come down here and take a look, we have finished up this shell, like I said, and in our last video, I was talking to you a little bit about these doors and how they're special doors for a 61 that have the two-piece top. So you can see we've got that on here, and then I have gone ahead and put in these finisher pieces for the top of the rear wing. Now, on a stock car, this will all be leaded in. And so you can see there's a slight little dent there, and then you've got these spot weld holes. This will all get covered with lead or the filler of your choice. This doesn't get leaded on a Roadster because there's a special chrome piece that goes on it. If you stand back, you can see that I have gapped the doors now. You want to be closer to an 1/8 inch back here, closer to an 1/8 inch on the bottom. A little bit of a fat 3/16 here so you can make sure the door is going to open and not hit. And then as tight as you can get up here. Now you will, when you're filling in this seam, and these are factory seams that are leaded, you will tighten that up a little bit, and your paint will tighten that up too. Another thing to make sure, and we showed this in the last video, you've got a dead straight run down here, and you've also got these curves in the front and the back just right. So we put a lot of time and effort into this shell. This is the first one that we built from scratch in our new jigs. And as a 61, it's got a lot of special 61 features. Most of the panels in this are pieces that we made here. There are some pieces from a couple other sources. We just started making these X panels, but these are from another source. And the bulkhead was actually from another source. But if you look here, and it was a nice NOS original bulkhead. See, as a 61, it's got a small divot here instead of a long slot like that. Same thing over here. If you look in the back, there's some special things. It is a flat floor car, so if you sneak around in there, you can see the flat floors and then the flat back. There is no seat dish. So you're really pushed forward in these. I'm 5'8", and I can barely fit in a flat floor car. So putting the heel wells and the seat dishes in was a real great improvement. You can see this door's got the same quality fit to it. In our last video, I was talking about how I was going to redo this. I did weld all the way down the edge, do some hammer and dolly work to make sure it fit this perfectly and was still straight. I've got my close to 1/8 inch gap there. You can see Brent made most of the things here. Nice job, Brent, as always. Made the scuttle, made the side, bulkhead side. These are our sills. These are our door skins. If you come into the back, you can see we've made this whole tail piece, and most of the pieces in the tail. The main panel here, see, as an early car, it's got a small hole here. Later ones have a bigger hole. And those are just the kind of things that we've tried to make just right for this 61. So we're really proud of this. We're excited to see it come out of here and get the bonnet fitted. We've got to make a welded louver bonnet for it. You know, we're always making those. I probably got 4 or 5 of them backed up now. So you come over here, it's kind of a nice spring day. We've got the windows not open, but the blinds up. The shop is spotless. Brent put a lot of time and effort into that over the past couple weeks. He's making some parts here on his bench. And these are some of the things that I've been working on earlier this week. This was an inner valance, a left-hand Series 1 inner valance that someone sent in. And it had a giant cutout here, probably for an aftermarket air conditioning compressor. So there was a huge hole here, and there was a hole cut in the wall too. So what we did was we dissected his, we drilled through the wall, drilled through all the original spot welds to save the tube section, and then we made a repair piece for the tube section. Everything from here to here is a new piece that we made. It's very tricky to get that just right, but we do it with some fancy patterning. And so there's a weld seam that goes up here, across here, and then right across here about 3/8 of an inch in, all the way down. You can see I've really dressed and planished the seam up here so it's dead flat. Down here it's pretty good too, but you can see it just a little bit. But this part is inside the wheel well. This will all get gravel guarded and then painted. And so this is good as new. When you put these back together, you really want to make sure that this is dead flat and straight and not twisted. Now they're never dead flat. You know, you've probably got 24 of them up there, and they're always a little bit weird. But this is really flat and nice. It's going to bolt right in, not give them any problems. As you can see, here's the other side. He didn't need this, but this is an example of the new walls that we make here. We always make a new wall and then salvage and repair the tube section and spot weld it back on. You can see these little original things and the detail around here. Really, whatever you need, call us. I know I say that on every video. And then we talked about this a little bit last time. This is the special 1961 Roadster chrome for the top of the door on the outside. The customer only had one, and as you can see, it's all dented up. You cannot find these anywhere. And so we made up a new set. You can see it's got that little step down in there. This is made out of 20 gauge steel. We've got the ends there. See, this is exactly like the original. And now the customer will go ahead and have these chromed at the shop of his choice rather than having this stripped down and re-chrome and it's all dented up. So that's kind of what we've been doing around here. Like I said, the shop's nice and clean. If you want to pan around and take a quick look, you can see all the machines are cleaned and oiled up and everything's kind of put away. We typically do that about once a year just to keep everything from getting too bad and to stay organized. And you'd be amazed how much more efficient it is to work in a clean shop. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon. Thanks a lot.